Hey everyone, excited to be back for this week's edition of Frequently Asked Questions for Commercial Real Estate. In today's video, what I wanted to do is talk about the pros and cons of buying and investing in commercial real estate in 2023. And as you guys probably know, the commercial real estate environment is somewhat in flux right now, and really the whole real estate industry as a whole. And so I wanted to kind of extract the pros and cons of investing in commercial real estate in this year and beyond. So in this video, we're going to highlight some of those things to consider. Now, before we dive into this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to this channel. It really does make a difference in the YouTube algorithm and ensures more and more people can hear this message and learn about the many facets of commercial real estate. So now you've done that, go ahead and like and subscribe below. Let's go ahead and dive into this episode. All right, so in today's video, we're going to highlight some of the pros and cons of investing in commercial real estate in 2023. So to start off, what I'm going to focus on are some of the pros that really are historic pros to investing in real estate, and then we're going to isolate some of the actual pros based on today's environment. So to start off, commercial real estate and really real estate as a whole is a pretty good inflation hedge in that it tends to appreciate in value over time, even though, you know, as you probably understand, inflation occurs each and every year. Now, the target rate for the Federal Reserve typically is in that 2 to 3% range. Historically, over the last, let's say, 5 years, we've experienced quite a significant increase in inflation. So, you know, typically what ends up happening is real estate tends to match up quite nicely with the appreciation or have appreciation somewhat in line with where inflation is. So over time, you've seen appreciation in commercial real estate values and really real estate values as a whole. So when compared to the stock market, it could be a good inflation hedge. Therefore, although you do want to invest some of your money into the stock market to benefit from, you know, sizable appreciation over time, it's also beneficial to then invest in commercial real estate as well to kind of manage that the growth as well. So that's number one. Is it usually is a pretty good inflation hedge when compared to the stock market. Along with that, in particular with commercial real estate, you have long-term stable cash flows from tenants. Now, it depends on what type of commercial real estate you invest in, but a lot of times commercial real estate leases are 3 to 5 years. So if you get a tenant that is a strong tenant on site, they typically stick around for a long time. And I know I have a lot of clients that own commercial real estate that have had tenants there for many, many, many years. And as a result, they get stable cash flows. A lot of times the responsibilities of maintaining the property are on the tenant's hands. Therefore, you really don't have much in the way of management. So it can be pretty solid as far as stable cash flows and then lower management responsibilities. So that's number two, is the management responsibilities and the potential for long-term stable cash flows. And then number three, kind of historic reason as to why commercial real estate can be very beneficial is the value add opportunities that occur in the commercial real estate market. Unlike residential real estate, commercial real estate investment properties is valued based on the income approach. So it's really a function of the amount of income that is produced on site. So if you buy an asset that is underperforming, quote unquote, based on what market rates currently are, and you bring the rents to market, you have already essentially created equity within the property. Therefore, you can benefit from the forced appreciation that occurs from that. So, you know, that there's still opportunities in the marketplace right now where, you know, I see properties on occasion where, you know, the market rents are way below where they should be. And therefore, someone who could buy it, you know, maybe make some slight modifications to the property and then raise to market rates can have quite a bit of appreciation in their hands. So those are historically the three pros associated with commercial real estate. As far as what's happening in 2023, as we're recording this, it's actually just turned September of 2023. We've gone through one of the highest rate hikes over the last 12 months that has ever experienced in our country's history. The Fed has really been trying to combat inflation that has been, you know, at somewhat historic highs over the last couple of years. And so in order to do that, they've been raising the federal funds rate, thus kind of in unison, the interest rates across the board have increased. And so what you're seeing is transaction volume in the commercial real estate market drop off significantly. And because it's become more expensive to borrow money and commercial real estate is so heavily dependent on debt to create these transactions because of the capital requirements to be able to buy these properties, you're starting to see transaction volume drop significantly. And over time, I think you're going to see commercial real estate pricing drop as well. And so that's where some potential benefits can actually come into play, in that you can buy properties at somewhat of a discount in the next, probably 6 to 12 months. Although I will say in the current environment, it's still kind of the sellers and buyers are still kind of at a standoff. The sellers don't want to come down to what the buyers can now pay, and the buyers don't want to come up to where the sellers, their expectations are, which probably are based on what happened in 2022 or 2021, where pricing was at that moment in time. And so we're still kind of in this limbo stage, but over time, it will most certainly change. And I think there will be opportunities for buyers to come in and purchase property at what historically is considered a discount, to be able to then repurpose the property and ultimately get back to producing the property at a high level. And so those are some of the pros associated with commercial real estate. As far as cons are concerned, some of these are somewhat historic. It does take more capital on average to get into commercial real estate. If it's a primary residence, for example, in residential real estate, you can get into a property as low as 3% down. Most commercial properties are going to require you to put 20 to 25% down. So if you're talking about a $500,000 property at 25% down, you're looking at $125,000 as far as a down payment's concerned, not including other costs associated with closing. So that can be quite capital intensive to get into. As far as the other cons is that if tenants move out, it usually takes a little bit longer to get it filled. I mean, if an apartment goes dark, typically you can get in there, paint, do what you need to do, and within a couple of weeks you'll have a new tenant in there. But if it's a large retail space or a large industrial space, it may be vacant for months and months on end. And sometimes I've seen properties stay vacant for over a year before they get a tenant on site. So if you don't have the staying power to be able to sustain that, then obviously that could be a benefit as well. And then it could be an issue as well. And then finally, unlike the stock market or some other liquid investments, the commercial real estate tends to be illiquid. We have, unlike, those types of investments, it takes a while to sell commercial property. So if you want to cash out on your investment outside of refinancing, which is just taking on more debt, you're kind of stuck with maintaining the investment until you decide, I want to sell. And then maybe it's going to take you, maybe 6 months, maybe a year sometimes to sell your commercial property. So you can't access that capital immediately. So those are some of the pros and cons of commercial real estate. And I kind of shared a few tidbits as far as some of the pros that I see in commercial real estate investing over the next 12 months. I do think there's going to be a significant opportunity for people who are wanting to buy commercial real estate for investing over the next 12 months, especially as sellers start to realize that they can no longer ask for 2021 or 2022 pricing when it comes to their their properties. And at a certain point, they're going to need to sell. And there's going to be buyers out there that are going to be ready to buy up these investments and capitalize on a very unique time in our history. So hopefully you gained some value from this video. I would greatly appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to this channel. If you yourself are looking for these commercial real estate opportunities, I am a commercial real estate agent here in Louisville, Kentucky. I'd be happy to help you with your search. Feel free to give me a call at 502-536-7315, or you can reach me via email at raphael@crescentigroup.com. Thanks again so much for tuning in, and we'll see you all next time.